Hi you all and welcome to Draw Along with me. Today we'll be designing a cute kawaii style witch or wizard on a broomstick with the pet of your choice. If you complete this tutorial and would like to learn how to turn this illustration into an animation using the Procreate app, definitely check out the next tutorial here. Click on the plus symbol and select screen size. Click on the brush tool and select calligraphy monoline. Make sure that your monoline opacity is at 100%. Choose a brush size that you'd like to work with. I'll start around 10% for mine. Click on the color circle and select a color for the stick of the broomstick. Use a 2-finger tap to undo and a 3-finger tap to redo, or use undo and redo on the side panel. Draw a line and hold it. If you leave the pencil on the screen, it will straighten it up for you. You can make it at an angle, but you don't have to. Next, draw a large curve on one end. You can tap arc if you want to adjust it. Zooming in helps, definitely, if you need to see things more clearly. Click the brush tool to get out of the blue dots, and 2-finger quick pinch to get back to the largest size. From this point, draw another straight line and hold it, making it thinner as it gets closer to the end of the broomstick. Once again, tap on this button and use the blue dots to move your pieces around as needed. Brush tool to get out of that, and back to the largest size. Now we can just close the shape here at the end and drop the color circle in to fill it. If you think that your broomstick is too wide, press and hold the eraser tool to get the same brush, which is calligraphy monoline. Definitely adjust the brush size as you need to, and erase some of it back if you'd like. Back to the brush tool. You can click on the arrow on uniform or freeform without touching the blue dots, somewhere outside of it, to push this down toward the bottom if you prefer. I want lots of room for my witch, so I'm definitely doing that for now. But I do want to have the twigs on the broomstick as well, so I'll leave space here. Click on the Layers panel, plus symbol to add a new layer. Click on the color circle and select whatever color you want for the twigs. I'm saving my colors in case anyone wants to use the same color palette, but you definitely don't have to. You can zoom in if you prefer. And here we'll make the little twigs going this direction first. And then kind of rounded with pointed pieces to go this way as well. If you don't like something, just 2-finger tap to try it again, and turn your canvas whenever you want or need to. Make sure that your shape is closed so it's touching here and here, and drag and drop to fill the color. Face it back the proper direction, and let's see what we've got. Great. Click on the Layers panel and add a new layer if you'd like to. I'm just keeping everything pretty separate for now. When we go to animate, it will all be merged together on a different canvas, but for now I'd like to keep everything separated. Choose a tie color, whatever you'd like to have this be bound onto the broomstick. I've chosen this dark color and I think I'd like to use that, but probably at a larger brush size. To simplify it, I'll just make a line this way, and a line that way. No big deal. Click on the Layers panel and plus symbol to add a new layer. We'll be making a small basket near the front of the broomstick for whatever animal you decide to add to your illustration. Mine will be my cat. Click on the color circle and choose a basket color, whatever you think. Might go pretty similar to that other one, actually, but a little bit darker. Bit better for mine, so I'm going to save that color. And back to the brush tool and lower the brush size. Back to that 10% approximately. All right, up here on this new layer, of course, draw a line, leave the pencil on the screen, it will straighten up for you. You can move it around if you want or need to. And then push it like this as well. Brush tool, and make the basket whatever shape you'd like it to be. Mine's going to be a bit more of a box, I suppose. I'll zoom in though, just so I can see a little bit more clearly. Brush tool and connect the lines to close the shape. Oh, if you have it go over the edge, no big deal. Just click on that top middle button and drag the blue dots to where you'd like them to be. Drop the color in. Great. Bring up your brush size whenever you want or need to. And for this part, I'll just make a little bit wider. I'll just make some lines down to kind of show that it's wrapping around the broomstick and securely fastened for the flight. Might make mine a little bit longer down here. And just squish this around until it looks right. Great. Click on the brush tool. I'll zoom back out so I can see whether that color works for me. And it might just need to go a tiny bit lighter. That way I can see it a bit more clearly, but still not quite liking it, so maybe this way. That look basically the same. Try out different colors until you find the ones you want. All right, back to the layers panel. Tap on this layer, which for me is layer 3, yours might be different if you add different elements. Plus symbol to add a new layer here. Go ahead on this layer and design whichever animal is flying with you in this picture. Or with your witch if you're not making yourself here. Definitely change your brush size as you need to. For mine, I'm just going to put my cat in this basket here. Make sure to close the shape underneath where you can't see before you try to fill your color. Today, instead of doing any sketching, we're kind of sculpting with color. If you prefer to make sketches first, absolutely do so. So I'll go ahead and follow my own direction and close this shape before I drop my color in. Ah, she's already looking so cute. I might use my arrow tool on Freeform to kind of squish her this way a little bit, and then scooch her back over. Arrow tool to get out of that, of course. I think she's looking a bit doggy up here, so I'll try to fix that for her. And I want this part to be a little bit flatter. Oh, smaller eraser size for that one, of course. All right, when you've got your pet however you'd like them to be, let's go on. Click on the Layers panel and tap the top layer. Mine is this basket layer. Plus symbol to add a new layer here. Click on the color circle and pick out your witch's robe color. I changed my brush a couple times there, but it's back to calligraphy monoline. Here, once again, we are going to just shape with color and use the eraser tool to bring back anything extra that we don't like. So let's begin. The witch will be sitting on the broomstick. So we can start with this sort of a shape. Oh, and if you're making a wizard, by all means do so, of course. Love to see your results. So this is going to be the bottom, the legs, and the robe will be kind of heading this direction first, following the leg. But then, of course, the wind is catching it, so it's going to go this way. Now, as far as the animation part of this tutorial goes, part 2, it's not going to be super realistic. It's more going to be like a paper cutout that's moving across the screen. Obviously, when Procreate Dreams comes out, there will be a lot more ability to make different pieces move, and if you'd like to, you can keep everything separate so that you can make individual parts move in the animation part. Okay, so I've basically got the bottom, the legs. I'll add the legs under here on a different layer, of course. So I'll keep building up from here. Torso. And there will be an arm here and an arm here holding up the hat. Little V shape for that part where it meets the neck. And the shoulder will need to be a little bit like flatter here. All right, so that's starting everything. Drag and drop to fill the color. You can use the eraser to kind of bring it back in any way that you'd like to and shape it up. And as always, turn the canvas whenever you need to. There will be an arm here holding whoever is in your basket. My cat might be a little bit large, so I might bring her down or make the witch a little bigger. I think my witch might need to be a little bit bigger already, so I'll use my arrow tool on uniform to just make her a little larger and scooch her over a little bit. That's looking a little bit better for mine. And then her robe is going to fly back on the arm there. And want to make sure that she's got an armpit here. And the other arm over here. Head's going to be here approximately. We need to start drawing that in. But for now, we can just get the robe going. Drop the color in, drop the color in. So here's a funny joint. It needs to be a little bit more smooth, I suppose. I think that will go up around her neck just a little bit, so I'll add that in and probably have to shape it up a little bit later. All right. Click on the layers panel, tap on the layer beneath this one, add a new layer here. Click on the color circle and select whatever color you'd like for the legs. And we'll go ahead and just add like these rounded sort of like almost oval shapes. Make sure to close the shape behind where you can't see and kind of remember where your knee is here. I might shape mine up just a little bit. Drag the color in, drag the color in, fill in any gaps, of course. Make your brush size smaller if you'd like to for the details of the shoes. We'll just add a simple heel, almost like a rectangle, and a curved kind of bit of triangle, I guess. And then kind of straighten it up here. Drop the color in. I'll use my eraser to thin up parts of this. Little rectangle. And then curved triangle kind of boot points. Oh, kind of make them match a little bit though. Drag the color in. Definitely grab your eraser on the same brush to just shape it up a little bit. If you need to move your legs, tap on the arrow and scooch them around until you think they look nice. And keep shaping them up until you're happy with the result. I think for mine, the one that's on the right that is her left is going to be a little bit too short. So I'll use my ribbon tool, the selection tool on freehand with no color fill, and the arrow to just try to drag it down a little bit and then add in anything I need to, which isn't much, it looks like. If you want to turn the middle arrow tool green bar, and you can make slight adjustments like that. I think I'll go back to the dress and shape up the knee a little bit. Layers panel, tap on that layer, eraser tool, and try to make it look a little bit better. Okay, let's keep going. Click on the Layers panel, tap on the Boot layer, or the Legs layer, plus symbol to add a new layer. Click on the color circle and choose whatever skin tone you'd like to give your witch. Zoom into the space if it helps you and create the neck area, or I guess this would be the upper torso. Drag the color into that space. Draw a circle, leave the pencil on the screen. Place your finger there. We're going to make this fairly big, and we're just going to add on to it. Obviously, it's not close enough to the neck here, but I'll drag it there later. Drag and drop to fill the color. Draw a bit of a bump for the cheek and a bit of a bump for the chin. And don't worry too much about this, we can keep shaping it up. Draw the edge here of the jaw. You can bring up the brush size whenever you want or need to, of course. And turn the canvas if it helps you. So here's the edge of her jaw, or it's supposed to be. There we go. And we're starting to get that kind of kawaii, chibi sort of baby face look. I'm gonna give her a bit more of a chin if I can. Edit arcs and anything else whenever you want or need to, of course. And we'll keep on keeping on. All right, she's starting to look a little bit more put together here. I'll probably just kind of lengthen her forehead here. I'm going to have hair covering a lot of it. Just keep shaping it and working with it until you think you like it. And don't worry, we can always improve this later. Use the ribbon tool on freehand with no color fill to wrap it around the head and the arrow to place it where you'd like it to be. So I imagine the hand will be here, the hat, other arm over here. I might need to move this arm down. Yeah, I'll probably move that one. But I think for mine, should just go right about there, maybe a little over. Brush tool and then add your neck in however you'd like it to be. So I'll go ahead and move this one. I think I want my arm to be lower. So Layers panel, robe layer, ribbon or selection tool on freehand with no color fill, wrap it, arrow, and I'll actually rotate it a little bit, I think, and then scooch it down. That should, maybe this far actually for mine. I want the arm and then a hand here. Alright, just play around with this until you like where the pieces are all placed. And I'll do the same. I think this one will have a bit more of a kind of bell to it. Click on the layers panel back to the head layer. Use your same color to keep shaping it up until you like it. I think her jaw needs to be like that a little bit. Oh, that's starting to look a little better for mine. And I think the ear can go on this same layer. So however you want to add that in, go ahead and do that. So I'm thinking eyes here, nose. The ear's probably right around here somewhere. Of course, it's a cartoon, so nothing here has to be perfect. Drop the color in when you think you like it. Undo if you don't like something. Click on the layers panel, add a new layer, and let's start adding in her facial features. Choose white for the whites of the eyes, and then we'll add the colored part as well. Her face is kind of turned. We've got a bit of a 3/4 view, but that shouldn't be a problem, hopefully. We can actually just make the kind of plus symbol that should go here, the crossing lines, whatever you prefer to call it. And click on the layers panel, tap the large N, lower the opacity, add a new layer, and let's add in the eyes here. So kawaii eyes are kind of always a challenge for me. I'll do my best. But I imagine many of you might be better at this style than myself. So if you decide to do this, please share your results and tag me so I can see them. I want to go a little further over here and make them how you like them. I feel like they're always pretty big. Grab whatever color you want for the nose and add that in how you like it. and I'll do the same. I turned my opacity down. I'm not sure I like that, but I'm going to keep it for now. I grabbed the white to make her smile. So obviously she is super happy to be flying through the air. Color circle. Choose the color you want for the inside part of the eye. And add that in. You can do this on a different layer if you prefer, in case, like mine, you're probably going to have to shape it up a little bit, but I'm trying to keep it on the same layer and just work with it as part of today's exercise. Now, myself will probably regret that, but that's okay. Color it in. You could drop the color in, but then you'll have to change your color drop threshold. So I'm just coloring mine in myself. Might need more white over here, if so I'll figure that out. Click on the color circle and choose the black for the pupil. I have seen in the Kawaii style that many times they actually use just a similar color to the eye color darker. So if you prefer that style, by all means do that. And let's keep going. Once again, fill this in and make sure to zoom out. Check your work and turn off that line if you don't really want or need that anymore. I'm going to delete mine now. Arrow tool if you think you want to reposition it at all. Brush tool and choose inking, studio pen, or another one with a thin taper. Grab black or whatever you're going to use for your makeup or eyeliner, whatever you want to call it, and go ahead and draw that in. I think for mine, I might need a little bit more white here, so I'll try to very thinly add that edge in. And I'll bring that blue out a little bit. And probably just push the black to it as well. And try to add my makeup lines again. And I can kind of see where I want to add some more by doing that arc. for me, this eye over here needs to perhaps go up just a tiny bit. So very carefully using the ribbon tool on freehand with no color fill, I've wrapped it. I'm going to try to scooch it just a teensy bit higher on the face. I think that might work out better for mine. Might do the same with my nose, moving it toward the right. So if at any time you need to adjust your pieces, definitely use the ribbon tool on freehand with no color fill, and you can move and transform them however you want to. Uniform to make things smaller or bigger, but when you make things different sizes like this, it will change the kind of pixelation of it. So just be careful with that, but definitely move it to your preference. Okay, she needs lips, and I think she's about done. Color circle, choose the color, choose the brush. I think Studio Pen will work for mine. And I'll just add little lips in. Maybe like a bump and a bump. Trying to make this a little bit rounder. Arrow tool and move it all together if you want to. I think that was looking just a little bit more correct for mine. Ribbon tool on freehand with no color fill. Wrap your pieces as you'd like to move them. Do so carefully, of course. Once you've designed your face how you'd like it to be, let's keep going. Click on the Layers panel, plus symbol to add a new layer. Click on the color circle, choose your hair color, and let's add it in. You can switch back to calligraphy monoline if you prefer. Make sure your opacity is at the maximum and draw the hair in how you like it. You can drop the color in whenever you've got a close shape. And remember, we will be adding the hat to the top here. So don't worry too much about all this. It's all just for fun. Try to go around the ear as closely as you can using an arc. If you would like to turn this illustration into an animation at the end, definitely think about whether you want multiple pieces to be moving. Like for example, if your hair is going to be moving, you'll want to make sure that your pieces are separated. Like for example, mine's going to have a braid, so maybe the pieces of the braid would be separated. I'm not going to go into all of that with this tutorial, but in case you'd like to do that, that's a small tip for you. Drop your color in, continue filling if you have many pieces. Brush tool, shape up any funny lines if you want to. And on this layer or on a different layer, you can also add a hair tie if you've got long hair in your picture, of course. I'm just keeping it on the same layer for simplicity. Click on the Layers panel, plus Symbol to add a new layer. Click on the color circle and select whatever color you want for the hat. My color is the same, so I might have to add shading or just drop a darker color in. So that's like the brim of the hat, whatever you call that part. It's going to be pretty big. Click on the Layers panel and swipe right on every layer to highlight them all blue, and arrow tool to kind of move it over so that you have a nice white border around the whole thing. Click on the Layers panel, get back to the layer you were working on, and just keep going. I don't think I like this part, so I'm actually just going to exclude it. I know it doesn't make a lot of sense, but I think it will have a better feel anyway. Arrow tool on uniform if you need to make any adjustments. arrow tool to get out of that. I think this arm is a little funny and probably this one too. So I might change that, but for now, let's click on the layers panel. Above this layer, but below the clothes layer, plus symbol to add a new layer. Grab the color you've been using for skin tone, and let's make a hand. If you want or need to, you can click on the layers panel, tap on the large N on the hat layer, and make it a little bit see-through for now. Brush tool, and let's go. So for mine, I'll lower the brush size significantly and just add a bit of an arm here, bit of a hand, the thumb I think I'll have just sort of sticking out. And the pointer finger I'll have sort of sticking out. The other ones, I think, will just be gripping the top of the hat here. Eraser tool to do any shaping that you want or need to. I think mine looks a little bit too wonky, so I'll use the eraser tool as well to kind of shape up the hand a bit. It's looking a little better. Arrow tool to move it. And you can rotate it with the arrow as well if you want to. This thumb I think is what's bothering me now, so I'll just go ahead and erase it back and try again. And if you don't like something, just arrow tool, push it off the screen, and try again. Alright, on to the next one. It's not perfect, but nothing really is, so we'll just keep on going. So the problem with this one is that the cat, or whatever animal you've got here, is going to need to be in front. And that's alright. We could use a layer mask, but I think I'll just erase it back to that point and hope for the best. Alright, just the fingers holding on for safety here. Not gripping terribly hard, of course. And I'll use my ribbon tool and arrow to kind of put it where I think it best fits. I'll make this arm angle down just a little bit more. I think that will make a bit more sense. Okay, great. Click on the layers panel, go back to the robe, fix it up wherever you think you need it. Like I want her to have more of a shoulder, but still have a little bump right there. Funny edge here, so I think I'll just erase some of that back. Kind of breaking the arm a little bit, but that's okay. Maybe this one will go out further. It's a little bump here still. That'll go out just a little bit further. Hopefully make a little bit more sense. For mine, I'm going to try to actually move all of this up a little bit if I can. So layers panel and find the hat, hair, face, and head. And then I'll just kind of scooch it up just a teensy bit if I can. That'll look better, I think, for mine. So back to layers panel, hat layer, large N, bring the opacity back up. And I think I'll make the neck just a little longer with the eraser tool. I'll grab the blue and modify the robe some more, but I think we're about ready to add the belt to it. And of course, anything else that you would like to add to yours. I think I'd like to add the kawaii highlights in the eyes, so I'll go to that layer and try to add those in. Oh wow. Maybe at a smaller brush size. Cute. Layers panel, go to the robe layer. For me, that's layer 6, plus symbol. Grab a color for the belt and bag. So I'm going to use this red to make the kind of hanging down belt. And I'll clean it up just a little bit. And then for the bag, I'm using a slightly darker color. I'll just separate them with an extra layer just in case. Layers panel, swipe right, arrow tool. If you'd like to adjust this in any way. I feel like it makes her look a little bit taller if I've got it a little bit lower for some reason. That hand is still just a bit weird, so I'll go to that layer, I'll swipe and duplicate it, hide one, so I've got a safe copy, and then I'll work on this one to see if I can fix it up a little bit. Eraser tool, take out the part that I don't want, and see about changing up this hand a little bit again. I guess I'll just keep the original one and delete this one. Part of the process, just try different things, see what you like, and have fun with it. All right, let's add a little bit of shading. Click on the Layers panel and go all the way to the bottom to layer 1. Tap on it, plus symbol to add a new layer. Click on the large end, switch it to linear burn, and drag the opacity down to around 35%, 34 maybe. Click on the color circle and choose whichever color you'd like to add shadow with. I think that was the one I picked out. Swipe and duplicate this. Press and hold it, let it jump in the air, and drag it above the next one. Tap on this first one, tap it again, and select Clipping Mask. Now let's add the shadow to this part wherever we'd like it to be. Remember that you still have to close your shapes, so make sure to do that. Drop the color in. Add it wherever else you think it should go, and we'll keep going. You can lower it if you think it's too high, so I'll drop mine down to maybe 17, 18%, and I think that looks better for mine. So I'll do that on the next one as well. Tap on the next one, swipe left, tap duplicate. Drag it above whatever is next that needs shading, so not that part, but this part maybe. And let's keep going. Tap on this one, tap it again, clipping mask. Using the brush tool, add the shadow here wherever you'd like it to be. Click on the Layers panel, tap on the next one, swipe left, tap Duplicate, drag it above whatever the next object is that you need shading on. Tap on this one, tap it again, clipping mask, and add the shadow where you want it to be. Click on the Layers panel, tap on the next one, swipe left, tap Duplicate, drag it above the next one. Tap back on this one, tap it again, clipping mask, and add your shadow. As you've seen, I'm also trying to add in some texture here and there. Click on the Layers panel, tap on this layer, swipe left, tap Duplicate. Press and hold it, let it jump in the air, and drag it to the next one. Tap back on this one, tap it again, and clipping mask, add your shadow. Click on the Layers panel, tap on this next one, swipe left, tap Duplicate, drag it up, up, up to the next one. Tap back on this one, tap it again, and clipping mask. Add in whatever shadow you think you want or need for this part, and we'll go on. Click on the Layers panel, tap on this layer, swipe left, tap Duplicate, drag it above the next one. Click back on this one, tap it again, and select Clipping Mask. Add in your shadow or texture wherever you want it to be. So I'll switch my brush from Calligraphy Monoline to Inking and Studio Pen to try to add in some like hair texture as well. Click on the Layers panel, tap on the next one, swipe left, tap Duplicate, drag it above the next one. Tap back on this one, tap it again, and select Clipping Mask. Add your shadow and or texture. All right, Click on the Layers panel, tap on this layer, swipe left, tap Duplicate, drag it above the next one. Tap back on this one, tap it again, clipping mask. Add in your shadow where you'd like it to be. Tap on the next one, swipe left, tap Duplicate, drag it above the next one. Tap back on this one, tap it again, clipping mask. Add in your shadow. And texture if you like as well. Click on the Layers panel, tap on the next one, swipe left, tap Duplicate, drag it above the next one. Sometimes it takes a couple tries. There we go. Tap back on this one, tap it again, and clipping mask. Add in shadow and texture. And we'll keep going. Layers panel, tap on this layer, tap it again, clipping mask. Brush tool, and add in details, shadow, and texture. Thank you all for joining me today to complete this illustration of a cute kawaii witch or wizard selfie. I really hope you guys liked this one, and I'd love to see your results. Please share your results and tag me so that I can see them. Otherwise, see you all next time. Happy Halloween!